Hi everyone and welcome back. It's Diwali on Sunday. It's right around the corner, and one of the most popular sweets you're going to make for this Diwali is Parsad. I'm going to share with you all the way that I like to make Parsad. I like to mix a combination of cream of wheat and flour, and of course if you wanted to make it all flour or all cream of wheat, it would be the same steps. So I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to start by creating our pag. This is going to consist of full cream milk or whole milk. I'm also going in with sugar. So I'm using 2 1/4 cups of whole milk and 3/4 cups of sugar, 1 cinnamon stick, and if you have any leftover table cream or media cream from making barfi, add it to this so it doesn't waste. If this is a mix, once the sugar dissolves, you're going to set it aside on a burner that's on a low heat and keep it nice and warm. Now place your Parsad pot. If you're making this to offer, guys, you want to use a pot that you do not cook meat in. You're going to add in your ghee and your cream of wheat. I'm using 1 1/2 cups of cream of wheat. I'm going to mix that in. I used 1/2 cup of ghee. Now you'll notice here when I'm mixing it, the cream of wheat absorbs that ghee so quickly. We need some more ghee. So here I'm going to add in another 1/2 cup. If you don't have ghee, you can use unsalted Kerrygold butter. It's really rich and nice for this. I also have a recipe showing you how to make homemade ghee on the channel. So you'll see here the ghee melts and it has a pretty wet consistency, so like wet sand. Now I'm going to add in my flour. As I said, you can make plain cream of wheat, you can make all flour, or you can do half and half. So I'm doing 1 1/2 cups of cream of wheat to 1/2 cup of flour. Now you'll notice that it's very dry. I'm not gonna add any more ghee. I want you all to trust me here. If you like it extra rich with extra ghee, of course go for it, but as it continues to cook on a low heat, you have to keep stirring. You'll notice that it has the right amount of ghee. See how it looks here? As the flour and the cream of wheat cooks, it's going to get lighter and lighter. It doesn't go from feeling heavy sand anymore. It's going to feel really light. So keep mixing, and once it looks like this, you see how light it looks. And I don't like to patch my ingredients before I make Parsad. I like my Parsad like this. So if you like it darker, you can do that step. In goes some raisins, and we're going to cook this for about 2 minutes until they're plump. So from when we put the cream of wheat and the flour into that ghee, we're now at 20 minutes when we put in the raisins. So 2 minutes to get the raisins plump, and then we'll go in with our ginger and our elychee or cardamon. I'm going to be using 1/2 teaspoon here. If you like it strong with a stronger cardamom flavor, you can add more. I think this is just the perfect amount, especially if you're making Parsad for the first time. So we're going to mix that in, allow it to cook for 1 minute, and then crank your heat up to high, and then start adding in your pag a little at a time. You have to put your heat on high. If you were to cook this on low, it's going to be mushy and very wet and very soggy. You want the flour and cream of wheat to absorb that milk mixture. See how fast it absorbs? Then you go in again and mix it in. So when I did this, I used all of the pag. Sometimes different brands of flour and brands of cream of wheat may absorb less, some may absorb more. So all of this is like when you're trying it, you'll know if you want it more wet, you'll need more pag. So continue to mix and it will be absorbed, and just add all of the pag until it has been absorbed. If you notice the pag is not being absorbed, stop adding. As you can see, I used all of my pag. All I have to do now is mix in this last set of pag, and once it's absorbed, this is now ready to be plated in your dish. Make sure if you're using it to offer for puja, you don't eat from it until the puja is done. If you have a tulsi leaf, be sure to put a tulsi leaf with all of your sweets. That's just something that's traditional, that was passed down through the generations. That's something that we do. So you see how nice and moist it looks? All you have to do now is dish it out and enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you try any of my recipes and you're on Instagram, please tag me so I can repost. Thank you all so much for always using my recipes. I love you guys. Have a happy and safe Diwali.